Identifikovat nejočekávanější adventuru současnosti není vůbec těžká práce. Je to Dreamfall Chapters, pokračování The Longest Journey norského týmu Funkem. Ragnar Tørnquist s projektem uspěl na Kickstarteru a měl v plánu vydat kompletní projekt už letos na podzim. Jenže se něco pokazilo a Ragnar je nakonec určitě rád, že slovo Chapters z názvu hry neodstranil.
Dreamer, the sky god has been searching for you. Where have you gone to, dreamer? Whose dreams are you dreaming?
So we're going to be taking a look at Dreamfall Chapters. It's an episodic adventure game. The game is a follow-up to The Longest Journey and Dreamfall, two adventure games that came out 15 years ago and 8 years ago respectively. It is a continuation of the saga, but it also is a new story, so players who played the older games will get the conclusion to the story, and new players will get a brand new story they can dig into. Today we're going to be showing some scenes from the first book called Reborn, and we're going to get started right away by meeting Zoe Castillo, one of the two playable characters in the game. So Zoe has been in this world, this dream world called Storytime, for at least 6 months now. And while she's here, she's been helping people who are stuck in dreams, stuck in looping nightmares to escape. She's evolved her powers in this dream world, these dream powers. And we're going to be taking a look at that in a second. So as mentioned, Dreamfall Chapters is an adventure game. It mixes the freedom and interactivity of old school adventure games with the focus on the interactive narrative in modern adventure games, and decisions, choices you make that shape the story. Of course, you have full navigation inside these locations. In the beginning it's quite linear, but it will open up later on. You can look through the character's eyes and get her observation on things she sees. And we basically let people dig as deep into the story as they want to. They can learn more about the characters, about the world, about the story through exploration. So once we sort of explore this environment a little bit, we can go and find one of these dreaming people, these restless spirits who are trapped here. And we can jump into their dreams. And in this one, we're coming into the dream of a woman who's trapped in sort of an endlessly falling. And we have to find a way to pull her out of this dream, to pull her out of this cycling nightmare. We can try grabbing her, but no, she's falling too fast. So when I target her again, I get access to these dreaming powers. These are powers Zoe has in the dream world. One is to read emotions. The other is to use light to bring light into the world, and the third is to manipulate time. And in this scenario, manipulating time slows it down enough for us to be able to grab her. As we progress through Zoe's story here, she helps more people escape from dreams, and then finally Zoe is able to wake up herself. And when she wakes up, her story continues in a different location. But first I'm just going to take a brief look at the second playable character, Kian Alvane. And Kian resides in the parallel world of Arcadia, a magical world. And right now he's trying to escape this prison with the help of a man who used to be his enemy. But Kian betrayed his people, he was sentenced to death, but now he's being broken free by the people he used to fight.
Hlavními hrdiny Dreamfall Chapters jsou tedy Kian a Zoe. Ale co April? Potkáme ji ve hře nebo někde spí daleko od současného dění a čeká na vývoj The Longest Journey 2?
Well, we've always said that we hope to do The Longest Journey home next, which will wrap up April Ryan's story. April is of course an important part of the universe and the saga. And her presence will be felt in Dreamfall Chapters. We have also announced that the voice actors for April is coming back for Dreamfall Chapters.
Oh, so cool.
We'll see. We're not going to say anything right now, but April is of course super important to us.
Yeah. Now back to the roots of the...
Vraťme se na moment ke kořenům série. Po mnoho let, od roku 2006, je ve světě Dreamfallu klid. Co je důvodem k tomu, že jste s vývojem dalšího dílu série přišli až po tolika letech?
Well, I mean, first off, the Dreamfall team went on to make The Secret World, a massively multiplayer online game, and that game took a long time to make. And it's a game we really wanted to make, but it's it took a long time, and we didn't have the team to do it at that point. Then after The Secret World came out, Funcom wanted to focus on online games, so we set up Red Thread Games in order to make single-player story-driven games. And that was really the first time we had the opportunity to get back to Dreamfall. So we managed to get the license and went on Kickstarter, and all of that was instrumental. So we needed the team back together. We needed the funding and investment to do it, and we needed to be on our own in order to do it. So it took a while for all those things to happen.
Yeah.
Bylo to těžké získat práva od Funcomu?
Not at all. They really trust us to tell the story. Of course, this is an important series to Funcom, and it's really easy. It was an idea we had, and it took me about like 1 day from having the idea to getting an agreement in place, and yeah.
Okay, the game was...
Dreamfall Chapters byla během Kickstarteru plánována jako celistvá hra. Nedávno jste nicméně oznámili, že bude vydána postupně po kapitolách, tedy tak, jak jste to prapůvodně zamýšleli před mnoha lety. Předpokládám, že se asi vyskytl nějaký problém, který zkomplikoval dokončení hry v původně plánovaném termínu. Nebo jste k tomu měli jiné důvody?
Well, I mean, game development is always, every day there's a new issue, a new challenge. When we set the original deadline for Dreamfall Chapters, that was before production had even begun. And normally, release dates are never set that early. You don't do that. That doesn't happen. So we knew that was going to be flexible. But as the game grew and we implemented it and we saw it coming together, we also saw that it was going to be bigger and more complex than we originally thought. And we had a couple of options. Either we cut it down, which we didn't want to do for the story's sake, or we delayed the whole game, until sometime next year. But for us, the best solution was to make smaller chunks and to focus on each of these 5 episodes and to be able to come out sooner than expected, and deliver something that we feel is really polished and nice. So it was the right decision. It was the right decision originally to be episodic, and it was the right decision now to go back to episodic. But we're a tiny team. We don't have a lot of resources, and for us to do it this way means it's a lot more doable.
Na kolik kapitol tedy bude hra rozdělena?
Well, this is where it gets complicated because the game is divided into 13 chapters, but we are releasing 5 books. So each book will have between 2 and 3 chapters in them. Yeah, but 5 books, 5 episodes.
And do you already have a plan?
A máte už plán, co se týče časových rozestupů mezi vydáváním jednotlivých knih?
Regarding the release dates?
Yes, we have a plan.
So
bude to víc než 2 měsíce?
Let's say, time period between the episodes will vary a little bit. The time between book 1 and book 2 is not going to be that long because book 2 is quite far along in development. And then there might be a little bit of a longer time between book 2 and book 3, for example. But, it's never going to be a very long time, no.
Okay.
Dobrá, cílem tedy je dokončit hru během příštího roku?
Yes.
Yeah, all right.
Původní The Longest Journey byla klasická point-and-click adventura, zatímco Dreamfall byl o poznání akčnější. Dreamfall Chapters se na pohled blíží spíš původnímu Dreamfallu než The Longest Journey. Takže otázka zní, budou ve hře nějaké soubojové sekvence nebo arkádové sekvence?
No fighting, no arcade, no stealth. This is an adventure and that's important to us. It's a game that's meant to be played, on a sofa together with, a partner or friend, and to sit and enjoy the story and not have to worry about clicking lots of buttons. Yeah.
Okay, so
Bezva, to jsou skvělé zprávy. Prostředí, která jsem měl dnes možnost ve hře vidět, jsou prostorově poněkud omezené. Dočkáme se také rozlehlejších lokací, jako je například náměstí v Mercurii.
Or anything like this?
Absolutely. We didn't have time for it, but the next location would have been Europolis, which is quite large and fully explorable, and you're not restricted into a sort of a narrow linear way. And there are going to be several locations like that. There are at least 3 very large locations in the game, large for an adventure game, that players can really dig into and explore. And I think that's going to be one of the things that really separates Dreamfall Chapters from other adventure games, is that you do have these large locations.
Jedna věc, kterou považuji na původním Dreamfallu za problematickou, je, že hra měla několik skutečně rozsáhlých lokací a čas od času nutila hráče běhat od jednoho vzdáleného místa ke druhému kvůli naprosto triviálním důvodům. Například, aby někomu něco přinesl a pak se zase vrátil zpátky. Člověk pak strávil zbytečně moc času běháním od čerta k ďáblu. Máme od Dreamfall Chapters čekat něco podobného?
No, we try to avoid it. I mean, we want players to be able to go around and explore on their own, but when you play the game, we structure it in a way that, you know, there's not a lot of running back and forth.
Yeah, that's cool.
Představí hra nějaké speciální prvky, něco originálního, co v původním Dreamfallu nebylo?
Yes, absolutely, and the most important thing is the choice and consequence mechanic. Dreamfall is a game about choices and consequences, both in the story and in the game mechanic. It's about how the choices we make in our lives affect our journey, they affect other people around us. They can have minor consequences, they can have major life-changing consequences. And in the game, you will be faced with these decision points, these choices along the way, quite often. And by making a choice here, you change the way the journey plays out. You change the fate of certain characters. And you can also see what other people have chosen at those times. You can connect your game, you can see what the world has chosen, you can see what your Facebook friends, your Steam friends, your PlayStation Network friends have chosen as well. So there's a connected experience that's really central to us. We don't have a lot of game mechanics. We're quite simple in that regard. You can investigate things, you can talk to characters, but making choices is central to the game's mechanic and story.
Okay, thank you very much, Ragnar.